Hello and welcome to Authors Roundtable, a non-scripted chat for authors by authors. I'm Sharon Lopez, and today I'm with Donna Kolling-Lear, author of Crimson Gold. This murder mystery can be found on Amazon.com in both Kindle and paperback forms. Welcome, Donna.
It's good to be here.
Now, Crimson Gold is based off a true story, but not just a true story. This is a family story.
Yes, it was my maternal grandfather, whose brother and sister-in-law were murdered up in Alaska. They were very successful prospectors up there. And so there was a lot of people they weren't very popular up there. And it's his, I have a lot of information on his journey when he went up there to, try to figure out the estate and, find out where the investigation went. It actually is still an unsolved murder.
Oh, it is? Wow.
Yes.
Wow. So, was this a story that was, passed down through the family members? Is that how you heard of it, or?
Oh, yes. Well, from the time I was really young. And my grandfather, told us this. We heard the stories for years. And after my grandmother passed away, my mother was given all the letters. My grandfather stayed in Alaska for like 5 months and wrote all these letters back. And so through my mom, I ended up with the letters, which helped me to get started with the story. I read as much as I did. Some letters were quite long, but it gave me a lot of information on on his travel, how hard it was to travel up there at that time, and all the time he was up there and all the experiences. And I just decided that I would take the true story and then base my fiction on that, and then I could take the story wherever the way I wanted it to go.
That is fantastic. I have, since I read a little bit, the story a little bit on Amazon, and I've been intrigued since. Truthfully, it's a really good story. As much as I have read of it so far, I am very, very intrigued. Now, you said the letters led you, to a lot of the research, but was there any other research that you did involving the story and things of that nature to get the book underway?
The first, I was able to, to move through the first part pretty much, but I went online and I was able to, find the ship that, they traveled up to Alaska on. I was able to, and then I had to get information on, the daylight times up there, because during the summer, I wanted to make sure if someone was sneaking around in the dark that it was actually dark.
Right.
So and so a lot of that type of research, and I researched the town, the small actually it's a village called Talkeetna. It's a very popular tourist attraction up there at this time, and so I was able to get a lot of information from them. I joined the historical society up there. I've been in contact with some of the people up there that in the town, and then my husband and I actually did take a trip before I published the book. We went up there just to make sure that, because I had, I needed to see, the descriptions that my grandfather put in his letters were so right on, but I wanted to make sure that, so, our trip up there, we followed his, his little, all the roads and different things that they traveled, and then came in contact with a lot of people up there that still talk about this incident. And so so a lot of it was a lot of online, but then the final, research was actually going up there.
That must have been so exciting. I mean, you were right there where this story took place.
Yes. I had some people that even, took the time to try and find anyone that might have, there's still a lot of gold mining going up there, and try and find someone that may have been around at that time, but pretty much everyone's gone. And so, but they kind of, gave us directions to go down the different roads that, that led up to the campsites and stuff. So it was really, it was, it was amazing. We want to go back. It's just a beautiful, beautiful place to go and visit, and so much history up there.
That sounds really fantastic. I may have to plan a trip up there myself.
If you go, fly up there and rent a truck and drive, because you're going to miss a lot of interesting places. If you're on a ship or something, you're not going to see Alaska.
Right. Well, that sounds really, really cool. It really does. Now, did you always want to write a book, or was this story what made you want to write?
I think it was, I've always been, I love mysteries. I'm a avid reader. But all the years I worked, I did a lot of business writing, but I always thought, oh, it would be really, what an accomplishment. I couldn't imagine how someone could sit down and write a book. And then when I retired, and my husband said, you really need to do something with this story. And so, of course, this story was a perfect, base for, a mystery. And so I just finally sat down and I thought, well, I'll give it a go, and when I remember the day that I finished the manuscript, and I went downstairs and told my husband, I said, oh my gosh, I was so amazed that I finished it. But, and I loved it. I like writing. I liked, loved writing in high school and stuff, but I never thought that I could, actually write a novel. So that now I'm more confident to try. I'm working on my second one now, but it gives you a little bit more confidence.
Right. Yeah. The first one's always the make it or break it one. It gives
Yes.
you the confidence, or yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So you are writing your second. Is this a sequel, or is this something different, or?
Well, I hadn't planned on a sequel, and I had gotten so much feedback from people telling me you can't just stop. So I went back, and I went, because I kind of tied up, things. But I went back, and I was able to pull some characters out. And but the story is going to be more that my first book was between the Alaska and the San Gabriel Valley, where I grew up and where my grandparents lived. And so I've got my story's going to take place a lot in the San Gabriel Valley area.
Okay.
And but it's the characters that have kind of moved from Alaska down here, and then I'm just going to try and tie some stuff in from that. But I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to do this. But I keep you go back and you rewrite and but I think I'm going in the right direction now.
Now, do you have a professional editor? Do you do your own? What is your preference?
I belong to a group called Sisters in Crime, the Orange County chapter, and through them there's a group called Guppies, and I went on there and just put in there I needed an editor, because I really felt like it's fine to write it, but I didn't want to put something out there that didn't look professional. So I just put it out there and said I need an editor, and I had some responses. With the one woman that I used was she was very reasonable, and she really helped me. She helped me to to expand in areas that I needed to expand, and she really enhanced my writing. And she was really nice to work with, and I'm so glad I did that, because when the book did come out, I could look at it and be really proud, and because I'm a writer, not an editor. So, I think that, we don't see, we see it one way, but to get the perspective from someone else really helps.
I
So,
agree. I agree.
so I was very pleased with and I would do it again. I would never want to put something out there without having a professional editor, helping me with it.
So, what do you think of book trailers?
Through Books Go Social, I had them, I went ahead and had them do a book trailer for me. And I really like it because I put it onto my webpage. So when you go on the webpage, it automatically, the trailer starts. And I've gotten a really good feedback. And then I did a book signing last week at a boutique, and I had my tablet, and I just set up the book trailer to run while I was there, and it caught people's attention when they walked by. So I think they really do help because marketing is really tricky, and I think it just gives you another tool, to get your book out there and maybe get people interested in looking at it.
So, I everything I'm hearing, it seems like you've had nothing but positive feedback. That is awesome. I mean, I will give you nothing but props too because I've read some of the stories, so I'm right there with everybody else, and that's fantastic. A big topic, though, among all of us authors is reviews. We're talking about them all
Mhm.
the time. Do you have a strategy for finding people to review your book, or?
You know, I, right now I have 7 reviews. I've got one editorial review and then 7 customer reviews. And of course, you have some of your friends that were really good and went in there and gave a review. I have some reviews from people that I don't know, which was exciting. But well, it's like pulling teeth to get people to review a book. And,
True.
they'll read it, but and I don't know whether they're hesitant, or putting something out there that other people can see. But and they keep saying, "Oh, you need your reviews," but I have no idea. I'm trying to redo my description on Amazon. I'm doing all these things trying to change it, but I don't know what really works to get people to actually review the book.
Right. Well, I mean, you brought up Books Goes Social, and it's actually where we met on their
Hmm.
Facebook page.
Exactly.
Um, Lawrence has been great. I mean, he gives great advice. All the other
Yes.
authors I've met have been very supportive. It's like a family, and
Yes.
I really like that. We try to review each other's stuff. I know I do that a lot, and I know how hard it is to get reviews too. So anytime I read a book, I will leave a review. I may not do that for a lot of other things, but books, it's something I definitely do.
Yes.
I wish more people were like that. I don't really know what the problem is there. Maybe we can like get some feedback from just readers and kind of get it on, you know, uh,
That would help. I think a challenge for me is to have the time to read all the books that I want to read to give the feedback because you're marketing and writing your own book. And so it's like trying to get, you know, to get in there and really, get that done. And I read one book and I was really proud of it, but then I haven't had time to get back. I've got all these books on my Kindle and
yeah.
I haven't had time to read them.
Yeah, I have the same problem. I yesterday, as a matter of fact, I went through. There's this lady that lists like a lot of the free Kindle books that are out there, and I must have bought about 20 books, and I'm all like, oh, I have like probably 100 already that I need to read, and I just bought 20 more. So yeah, it is. It's hard to find time. I just, I bring my tablet with me everywhere and just try to find, whether I'm in the doctor's office or,
Yeah,
sitting
yeah.
down watching TV, I'll try to, you
Hmm.
know, read here and there. Um, so what is the hardest thing about writing for you?
I think, discipline of sitting down and writing. I've had days where I've written all day, and then I thought, well, that was a lot, and then, or you get stuck, and so you have to stop for a while and kind of get, to figure out which way you're going. And but I think that's, for me, is, I worked for so many years where, you had such a schedule, and then I retired, and then I had to I had to reorganize my schedule. And so it's a discipline of what time of the day works best. I don't have a time of the day that works best. It's like when you feel like writing, you sit down and write. And so I think that's probably my biggest challenge. I get so focused on the marketing part of the other one, then I don't get back to my, so it's like balancing everything. So I just need to be, more disciplined, I think.
Yeah, I have myself trying to find that balance between marketing and writing. Um, I recently just hired a designer to redo a couple of my covers and do a cover for the new one that I have coming out. And you think about, oh my gosh, I have to let people know about this stuff, and then but I need to write. I have to
Yeah, I
write.
know. Can I ask you a question?
Oh, certainly.
What is your opinion of my cover?
I like your cover. I do. Um, Now, is that a professional one or did?
Well, actually, it was, yeah, actually it is a professional, but I actually found it on, in fact, I sent you some information via
Okay.
Facebook, but it was her stock. I went through her stock
Hmm.
covers first, and as I'm scrolling down, it just popped up, and I went, oh, that's so perfect, because it kind of gives that eerie feel of, kind of what you kind of picture, that in the book, especially when it's first starting. And so, like, and I was, of course, you're on that first book, you're always on a tight budget.
Right.
And, I contacted her, and she, got them ready for me. She formatted for my Create space, and for my Kindle, and for the Barnes and Noble. And, so, and it was very reasonable. And I felt with my first book, it really helped because it cut down my costs. Plus, I
Yeah.
got something that I really liked.
Yeah. No, I think it's very well done. I agree. I think, as the author, we have some kind of thought, this is how the cover should look. And I mean, if you're like me and you can't draw, well,
Oh,
you kind of have to turn to other people. And sometimes it's hard to uh, put that vision, and help somebody else see that vision that you have.
mm-hmm. I have a lot of the authors in the Sisters in Crime that they've actually taken the one man who's got these gorgeous covers, and they're actually photos that he's taken, and they've used it for the cover, and they're he's got beautiful covers on his books, and they did it themselves. I mean, it's kind of, so I guess it just I just couldn't see spending, a whole bunch of money at first. I mean, you can always go back and get another cover.
Right.
So, it got me started, but I've watched other, I got a lot of great advice from those authors too that are, have done a lot of their own, I've done my own business cards and my bookmarks, and, all that, my posters for when I go out with any book signings or anything. And, and everything, seems to be going okay. I'm sure that professionally I could, they could do something probably, I'm sure, a lot better, but, for right now, it works for me.
Right. I think that's important. I think you have to be comfortable with it, and it has to work for you. You know, like I was saying, when you see, you know, your vision of your cover, and then you actually see it someplace and you go, that's it. I think that's the important thing. I think
Hmm.
you should always go with your first instinct and your gut on that. You
Yeah.
know, if you go, yeah, that's it right there, that,
Mhm.
yeah. I mean, as people, we'll always be our worst critics and second guess ourselves. And,
Exactly.
I think it's very important to go with your gut on that. And if it works for you, keep it. Good for you, you know? I haven't got there yet. I'm
Well,
getting there.
even with an editor, I mean, they can give their suggestions, and and a lot of the suggestions I agree with. The ones I didn't, I left that part of the book in there. And what was funny was some of the things that I, insisted on staying in the book that she felt might slow it down
Hmm.
are the parts of the book that people really enjoyed.
Well, then you
So
know.
yeah, you have to really be aware that it's your book and you can do what you want and you can get suggestions, but the bottom line is you can do what you want to do with it.
Exactly. You have to make it your own.
Exactly.
Well, I thank you very much for being here. I'd love to have you back if you're
I'd love to come back.
interested.
Absolutely. And I just appreciate the opportunity. This has been really great.
Oh, anytime. Anytime you want to. I want to help other people because I know how hard it is to market and get yourself out there, get the books out there, and that's what I'm trying to do for other authors.
Well, I'm sure that the other authors along with me really, really appreciate it.
Well, thank you.